Okay guys, welcome to the second episode of That Was the Year That Was, and this year, the year we're featuring this time is 1979. Now just to put in perspective guys how actually long ago 1979 was, the number ones in 1979, the top selling or the song at number one for the longest was YMCA by Village People. Then you had Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick by Ian Dury and the Blockheads, Heart of Glass, Blondie, Tragedy, Bee Gees, I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor, Bright Eyes, Art Garfunkel, Sunday Girl, Blondie, Ring My Bell, Ooh and Mrs, Anita Ward, Our Friends Electric, classic song by the Tube Army, I Don't Like Mondays, another great song by the Boomtown Rats, We Don't Talk Anymore, thankfully, by Cliff Richard, Cars by Gary Newman, Message in a Bottle by The Police, Video Killed the Radio Star by The Buggles, One Day at a Time by Lena Martell, When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman, Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, Walking on the Moon by The Police, and Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd. So some cracking songs back then and also some pish, and this is probably going to replicate some of the games we're looking at today. So anyway, apologies guys, I had to change the battery there. Anyway, yep, the first game of our 10 for 1979. This was a bit of a great game, Astro Fighter. Couldn't tell you actually who made it, but let's have a wee play of it and see if it's any good. I can certainly remember seeing this in the arcades. It was brutally hard if I remember as well. Now what made this game particularly difficult wasn't so much the speed of it, it was the fact that they shoot diagonally, and also more importantly is you're fighting against this fuel thing at the very top, so you know it's not just blasting things, you're having to do it. Now wait a minute, am I just thinking of these little... Do these things give you fuel? It's one of these games, you look at it and it should be stupidly easy, but it's the complete opposite. It's stupidly hard. It really is a tough game. I mean, you can imagine playing Galaxian but against a timer. That's exactly what this game is like. I must have not done fairly well to even get to this point, although I'm about to die. I'm about to flatline, I think. Cheeky sod, that's it, game over. Right, let's go for one more go. So yeah, you really have to make every single shot count. You can't afford to dither too much. It's amazing how just even in the space of a year, I mean I'm not sure when in 79 this game came out, but even in the space of a year we've now got coloured graphics. I always thought this game looks like a Spectrum game, I don't know what it was, it's kind of the washed out, I think it might be because it's been played against a blue background. They could have probably put it against a black background and it would have looked a lot better. Ah, balls. Deco, or Deco, that's who made it. They also made a golf game which used to be my local chippy, and it was absolutely garbage. It was actually a tape. It was loaded off a tape, believe it or not. Hey! Don't ask what's going on here. Ah, it's refueling. But honestly, give this game a go, guys. It looks... it does look easy, and it's far from it. Anyway guys, that is Astro Fighter. Okay guys, this game is Basketball by Atari. Now again, you can see there it had quite a smart sort of bezel around it, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in a wee bit now to actually let you see the game getting played. Now I remember this game, I can remember seeing it, and I'm sure it was controlled with a trackball. I think I may have had a shot of it, one or two shots of it back in the day. Let's see if I can play it. Some of these games, like I mentioned before, may not be playable. Why is it not starting? Right, okay. Right, so you basically use the joystick. You use the oh damn it. Use the trackball. Way. Oof. Ah, come on, you fool. Damn it. Fairly simplistic. Oh. Damn it. Oh, chance to take the lead. There doesn't appear to be any any sort of special move or anything. It's just press the fire button to lob the ball. He's made an arse, yeah, and I've... damn it. Yeah, now I mentioned something in my 1978, that was the year that was, about how long you had in games. Now you can see there, I mean I've been playing this for I would say a couple of minutes, and I've still got 2 minutes, so yeah, you really got, they seem to be quite generous with the time that they give you in games. Not like nowadays, you know, you maybe get a minute or something. Oh, I've got the ball. It appears I just stole it off him. Oops. Ah, come on you twat. But yeah, I like the bezel around this, or is it the marquee? I can never remember what you call these things. I'm well and truly cuffing him, but I'm guessing, in fact you know what, probably the reason you get such a long time is because you probably get, I don't know, 3 minutes of time regardless. It'll be interesting to see if I get another game after this minute's up. I'm not going to play a second game of this, guys, because obviously this game seems to last a lot longer than other ones. Oh, he's coming back. Oh, I've still got a bit of... oh, that was... good recovery. Yeah, this was one of the very first, one of the very first video games I can remember seeing in the arcades. Ah, there you go, add coins for more time. Ah, come on, you idiot. It's funny how prevalent, how prevalent trackball controls were. I mean, there weren't that many games that really used it, but it's an excellent form of control. So that's it. Ah, balls. So there we go. That's Atari basketball. That's actually quite good. Okay, let's crack on, guys. Okay, the next game to feature is Invinco by Sega. Yep, this is the Sega game you've probably never seen before. And I'm guessing by the time you see it, you probably wish you'd never seen it. Now, anybody that half knows video games, you'll probably notice that the sound sounds awfully like Space Invaders. Yep, and this was basically back in the time where you could shamelessly copy games and nobody bothered. As I mentioned in the last one, Space Invaders was the game that rewrote the rules. That game single-handedly kick-started the whole video game industry, certainly in the arcades. I mean, you know, this was Sega who went on to become one of the biggest video game manufacturers. Instead of coming up with their own ideas, they just shamelessly ripped off Taito or Midway, whoever it was that actually had Space Invaders. Graphics are bloody awful, I haven't a clue what's going on here. It looks like user-defined graphics. I mean, the sheer size of the bloody sprites make it pretty damn difficult to... Ah, bollocks. Right, this time. Let's take this guy out. My goodness. It's tough. Oof. What the hell's going on here? Okay, right, let's... Yeah, you're being attacked by killer triangles and little stupid smiley faces, or emicons I think we'd probably call them nowadays. These daft little irritating facey things that people insist on putting at the end of text messages. The funny thing was, I noticed when I was playing Space Invaders in the last feature that the firing sound wasn't what I remember it to be, and it's actually this firing sound that, look at that, you've even got the bloody white ones that disappear. It's mental to think that the company that wrote this game went on to write Sonic the Hedgehog, Daytona, amongst other cracking arcade games. But I suppose, like anything, you've got to start somewhere. Why is it not going right across to the far end? Right, okay, one last go. Whoops, I was just checking the time there. Certainly a bit more generous when it comes to points I mean, a good score in Space Invaders is about 1,000. This gives you 100 points for every enemy you take out. Yeah, it must have taken the guys at Sega a hell of a long time to come up with the graphics for this. In fact, you know what it is? It's the sound. It's the explosion sound that is taken directly from Space Invaders. Ah, come on, you idiot! It's interesting. I notice it shows the top 3 highest scores on the screen at once. Kill the killer maggot. Bloody Pac-Man! Ah, that went straight through him. You can just piss off right now. Yeah, if somebody had told me that this game was written in BASIC, I would have believed them. I would have probably thought it was a bit of a poor game even in BASIC. All said and done, it does actually play not too bad, but then you know what, it's an arcade game and it's taking your money, so I wouldn't expect any less. I mean, seriously guys, what were you thinking when it came to the graphics for this? The only other game I can remember that had invisible invaders was the Atari 2600 version of Space Invaders. That's why it was able to advertise something like 112 different versions of the game. Oh, there's virtually no respite at all. It's that wee green waggly thing. Alright, it's because it's... Come on. Bloody hell, you get to shoot the things about 5 times to kill them as well. Now what's interesting is they're not moving right close to the left, so I don't know what's going on there. Anyway guys, that's Invinco by Atari. No, so not by Atari, by Sega. Okay, next one is probably one of the most iconic video games of all time. Yep, it's the mighty Asteroids by Atari. This game, it wasn't the first vector graphics game, but it was certainly the one that really that was most famous for having the vector graphics. Absolutely astounding game. Apparently it sold a shitload of money, or it made a shitload of money to Atari when it came out. It's brutally hard again, like most of these classic games. Whoops. This game should always be played. Oh, bugger. This game should always be played using a keyboard. Or buttons, I should say, never a joystick. That's why I just can't really go on with the sort of new versions of these games that you get on the sort of current generation consoles. Bloody hell. I mean, if the graphics weren't iconic, the sound certainly was as well. Dearie me, that's awful. I'm actually usually not too bad at this game, but you know what, I'm just going to put in anything because that was so awful. Ah, bollocks, I pressed the start player 1 button and instantly died, which obviously it must be set up as the hyperspace button as well. Yeah, unfortunately, very few, you know, to correctly play this game or to see it in all its glory, you need a vector monitor. However, I do know that the latest version of MAME has this, it has an option, oh come on, what am I doing here? It has this option which allows you to tinker with vector settings, not vector settings, graphical settings, which can give you really authentic looking scan lines on screen, and it can also give you really authentic looking vector graphics. Unfortunately, my PC that I run my MAME on isn't powerful enough. I love the big bassy noise of the thrust, that's just amazing. I remember when I used to play this back in the day, I never actually used to use the thrust. I just basically sat still and rotated on the spot, and that's probably why I was absolutely garbage at it, because you really need to be able to move and try and thrust out of danger. Now if you want big points at this game, what you do is, and I'm not going to show you because I can't do it, is you just leave one tiny little asteroid flying about the screen, and then you just basically pick off the little spaceships. It's called lurking, and that's how all the big scores at this game happen. There's the sound I always wanted to hear. I need to start moving. And then I run right into an asteroid. I must admit, this is a cab. See there you go, this is what happens is you basically sit with one asteroid on the screen and you just sit and pick off UFOs. But you've obviously got to be good at controlling. You can see there, I think you're getting almost... Ah, balls. Anyway guys, that's Asteroids. Okay guys, this game is called Space Fever. No idea who wrote the game, or published it I should say. It doesn't appear to tell you. But it looks like a shameless rip-off of our favourite shooter. Select game button? What? A, B and C? I have absolutely no idea what was meant with that. Now you can see there, it is Space Invaders. But it's done its own take. Now the little, the first two rows look like Pie Man. What? Ah, these ones actually moved back up the screen. Don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I mean it's obviously based on Space Invaders, but it's trying to do its own thing by allowing Space Invaders to split in half and also move back up the screen as opposed to just moving down. But this is what was happening back in the day. When somebody brought out a good game, there would be 15 million companies would jump on the bandwagon. Ah, so when you hit a UFO, they move back up the screen. So that is obviously what makes this different from Space Invaders. In case we're going to get their arse sued, they can say, no, honest Gov, it's a different game. Now oddly these guys didn't appear to move back up. Now these wee guys look like the UFOs that you get in Gorf. Hey! It would be interesting to know if games like this were actually breaking any law when they came out. I mean, I would imagine Taito and Midway would have copyrighted Space Invaders. But I suppose at the end of the day, if companies were using different graphics, I didn't even hit that thing, did I? Then, you know, they didn't copyright the actual idea of the game, don't know. But this is the kind of game you'd probably get in your local chippy, some sort of bootleg version of a proper game. Now things are getting a bit... Ah, they're moving back up again. Too late. Come on! Now I don't know whether this game actually had proper colour or whether it just had this sort of cellophane. And tricky now. Ah, come on, that was silly. Whoops. Okay, let's go for another game. Of the classic Space Fury. Right, I have no idea. Push one player only. Right, now I'm going to go for game. I don't know. You can only appear to press one button, so I don't know what game A, B or C, what the difference is. Too late. Oh, close. It's interesting that they start moving back up. I wonder what the purpose of that was. The funny thing about these games is, even though they're as basic as hell, they're still damned challenging. Although I think I'd rather play the authentic Space Invaders than something like this. Christ, I got an extra man, that's all I wanted. Anyway, I'm not going to finish this game, I'm just going to, when I lose this life, we'll move on. It's certainly a bit easier than Space Invaders. I don't know if you can actually shoot that UFO again when it's starting to fly back again. Right, anyway guys, that's enough of that one. That is Space Fury. Okay, this game is probably instantly recognisable to people of a certain age, i.e. about 40 years old upwards. This is called Head On. And I remember playing this back in the day. Again, it's bloody difficult. It's like Pac-Man plus Pac-Man versus, not versus, Pac-Man. Pac-Man meets pole position. Now the idea of the game, oh wait, is it, I'm just trying, this isn't really working. This isn't working properly guys, what's going on here? And you can accelerate. Alright, okay. The idea of this game is you've got to try and eat all the dots. Ah, bollocks. You've got to try and eat all the dots, and then you can shift lanes. When you come out the wee sort of rail thing, you can shift lanes. And you can also accelerate by pressing the fire button. Oh, why does that not move? The controls are a wee bit unresponsive. That wasn't working there. Yeah, and the idea of the game is to try and avoid bollocks. I don't know what these red things were. Oh, that was close. No, I don't know what these red ones are. Ah, damn it. Yeah, you've got to try and always anticipate. I'm going to go for one more game since this is quite a short-lived game. Yeah, so if you press the fire button, you can speed up. And you see that didn't move. That did not move there. I'm guessing this game would have been joystick controlled. Right, you've almost got to be moving. Ah, it didn't move again. Try to move it down. You've obviously got to start shifting lanes as soon as you come out. Didn't move again. You can see it moved a tad. That's a bloody frustrating game. I remember playing it even in the arcades back in the day, and I wasn't overly impressed with it. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. That is, what's it called again? It's called Head On. Let's move on. Okay, guys, this is the follow-up to the mighty Space Invaders. It's Space Invaders Part 2 by Taito. Now you can see there right away it introduced colour. And you can see there's also a little odd alien, and they kind of move down like so as well. So but anyway, let's crack on with this game. Can't say I've ever really played this one. Now see, that noise is the sound, the firing sound that I remember on all the Space Invaders that I played back in the day. Yeah, so this was a follow-up to the original, obviously. It introduced proper colour. So even in the space of a year, and I don't know how much after this game came out. Although this came out in '79 and the other one came out in '78, I don't know whether it was actually a year, more than a year, but yeah, technology had obviously moved on a fair bit even in that short space of time, and we were now looking at proper coloured graphics as opposed to the little cellophane strips that they used to put across. Now he looked like a different sort of UFO, I think. I don't just remember seeing too many Space Invader 2 machines. I think part of the problem could possibly have been when this came out, games had sort of kind of moved on, so people weren't wanting to play Space Invaders even if it was colour. Right, okay, that's a new thing, never seen that before. And that wee bit certainly was new as well. Now I noticed when these invaders fell, came scurrying down the screen, you know what? I think, yeah, this wasn't proper colour, this was just overlays, because you can see there, as they get to a certain, in fact you can actually see the colour of the missile changing as it passes through the cellophane, so yeah, this one wasn't. Ah, stupid. Too busy looking for points there. Well, I actually thought this was proper colour, but it just goes to show it wasn't. Because you'll see when these purple ones in the second row move down, they'll become yellow. Well, maybe not. Once they get to the next level, they'll become yellow. Well, what's interesting is how on earth can they all turn red? That's interesting. If they were behind coloured strips, how were they able to make them all red when you get hit? If anyone knows the answer to that, then please pop it in the description below or in the comments box below. But if that isn't one of the most famous sound effects of any video game, I don't know what is. Yeah, you can see there the wee floor changing colour as it passes through the little strips. And you can see the invaders. But yeah, I'm interested to know how on earth they got them to go all red like that. You can see there the little bases actually show the... That's silly. You should never ever stand beneath a base and try and shoot through it, because you're always going to get caught out. Right, I'm going to have this last man, and then we'll look at the last couple. I love the sound of that getting hit as well. Every sound effect in this game is iconic, it really is. It just reverberates. And it'll take any kid that remembers playing it right back to where they were, whether it was a sports centre, a chippy, an arcade. I'm not quite sure what the difference between that one and the other one is. Anyway, listen guys, this one is going on a wee bit, so we're going to end this one here. Let's look at the last couple. That's Space Invaders Mark II. Okay guys, this is Ozma Wars. There we go, by Shin Nahun Kikatu. UFO Meteor Comet. Never even heard of this one. It's got the same tri-player one, it's got the same right, what's actually happening here? Energy. Okay. Now that sound effect sounds familiar. Oh, it's actually kind of similar to Astro Fighter. Again, it's all black and white graphics. You've got energy which runs out as well, so yeah, it is kind of similar. A bit of slowdown as well going on. Sound is minimal. Oh, there's a big missile. Kill it. Bloody hell. Oh, how can you avoid that? My energy limits. Deary me. That's brutal. Right, let's have another quick go. Quick being the operative word. Let's stock up. It's kind of a bit odd having a stocking up on energy right at the beginning of the game. I'm guessing this game probably never saw the light of day outside Japan. And I want to try and get to that big missile level again. And watch as they speed towards me. Whoa! Hey! And it's back to more of the same again. Flickery graphics central. Oh! And when you get hit, your energy just plummets. Right, come on. That's enough energy, thank you very much. Right, I'm guessing I've got to try and take out that thing in the middle that's deploying all these, whatever they are. This is like the very first bullet hell shooter. Ah, dearie me. Right guys, that is enough. That is, what was it called again? I can't even remember now, the name of it. Ozma Wars. Right guys, 2 to go. Okay, this game is Lunar Lander. This is a bit of a cult classic. Again, it was one of the very early vector games. Now, I'll be honest, I was trying to play this just a few minutes before I tried to film it, and I can't seem to get the controls configured properly, so I'm just going to play it as best I can. I'll not be able to really play it properly. I think the idea is you can see, well, you may not be able to see there, there's numbers flashing like 5 times, 3 times. Now I'm guessing that's the score. If you can land the little why is that not moving me? Right, okay, so it's kind of zooming in a wee bit. See, I think there may be other buttons that I need to be pressing here. But the idea of this game is to basically try and land as gently as possible. It's kind of similar to Thrust. I mean, Thrust certainly took its ideas from this game and probably a bit of Asteroids as well. Again, it's got a really, really good deep bassy. Boof! Right, okay then, so that's way too hard. Right, let's you can see there I'm the little spaceship at the top left. So it's telling your altitude. I don't know what kind of speed you really need to actually let's go for the one over here. It's very, very subtle movement, so I mean, you saw there, I thought I was going to get a perfect landing, but it was far from it. I don't know if there's some sort of button you're supposed to press. As you're coming down to land, I'm not too sure. Now, if that's not about the most gentle landing you could hope for. Hey, there we go, 30 points. Ding dang do. Now, the only thing is, I was using a shitload of fuel. Now you probably can't see it because I've actually cut it off at the top, which is a bit silly. Right, okay, you may see it there. I'll zoom in and let you see. It does say you've got fuel, you've got score, time, fuel, altitude and horizontal speed. Whoa! I'm going to die, I'm going to die. Right, what's going on? What's happening here? Right, why is that? It's just making me thrust. It's just making me thrust straight up. Low on fuel. Anyway guys, listen. we've probably seen enough. That is Lunar Lander. I think we've got one last game and I've left the best till last. Okay guys, here we go. This is the seminal classic. Okay, there's a thing, I can't zoom out far enough. I'll need to do it. There we go. Seminal classic Galaxian. This was released by, who released this? This was Namco, I think it was, that released it. This game, awesome. It's one of my favourite arcade games of all time. It's one of my favourite video games, I should say. I can always remember just seeing this when I went on holiday and, you know, always wanted to play it. I would probably last 30 seconds if I was lucky. It's a brutally hard game again, but it's an absolute cracker. The sound, the graphics, I mean, you know, when you compare this game with some of the other games that were out at the same time, this was just like a step up. Sound, graphics, I mean look at the graphics, amazing. It's got the kind of little sparkling starfield. Playing this game loud is how it should be played. If you want to get a good score at this game, it's not to do what I'm doing, i.e. sitting, picking them off. It's to actually time your shots. Like so. Just take your time and shoot them as they're diving towards you. But yeah, this game's an absolute classic. It's up there with Pac-Man. It was stinkingly hard though, it really was. I mean, it would literally, it would take your money. Best part, probably if you lasted a minute, you were doing well. It's only through getting to play this in MAME over the years that I've actually been able to get off the first screen. Even the spaceship. Yeah, the way to play this really is to just pick them off. Now if you can get all these guys in one go like that, then you get big points. Close. The thing you need to understand about these kind of games is clearing this screen, all it's going to do is put you on an even harder level. So the whole point of this game is to maximise points, so you're as well taking your time with it. One thing you need to be very careful with this game is don't get hit with bullets like me, is they'll try and push in the corner. They try and force you in a corner, then they'll eventually dive bomb you. So try and stay out the corner if possible. It's not always easy. If you do move into a corner, then try and get out as quick as you can. Dearie me. It starts getting tricky when you get 2 or 3 of them dive bombing you all at the same time. You've really got to try and take them out if you can. Oh, that was close. Ha! I think I killed two in one go there. The thing is well with this game is try not to panic. Easier said than done when you're getting hemmed in and they're swirling all about you. Try and find a way through if you possibly can. Ah, bollocks. Right, I think we're just going to go for the one game of this. This is one game I would love to own the original of, an original arcade card. It's just such an iconic game, and it's, you know, the challenge is just astronomical. Ah, come on, I should have moved in to take that. Anyway guys, listen, that is Galaxian. That is the last of the games I'm going to look at for 1979. Hope you enjoyed watching it, guys. Please leave all comments down below. If you want to see more videos by myself, please consider subscribing. You can follow me on Twitter under MainMeister. And as usual guys, thanks for watching.